Hello there, I am Sparkly Guts and I'm back with another YouTube video. So today I am a part of a giant Black Lolita collab and there are so many of us. I will tag us throughout the video or at the end. I haven't decided how I want to edit this just about yet, but I am so honored to be a part of such an amazing collab that's occurring. This is actually the second round of videos that are coming out. So the first round was kind of more about what life is like as a Black Lolita, specifically more focused on like struggles and kind of just the reality of what being a Black Lolita comes with. And this time around, it's going to be a little bit more focused on the positive sides of being a Black Lolita, or just things that you can look forward to if you want to be a Black Lolita. That being said, this will only be my experience with being a Lolita, so I think it is a great idea to check out all of the other videos that are in this collab. And there'll actually be a playlist, and I'm sure I'll tag it somewhere. I'll figure out how to do it. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you support all of the Black Lolitas that are a part of this collab. Alright, so the first question is, how do you maintain confidence as a Black Lolita? And this is something that I have definitely struggled with a lot, and not just wearing Lolita fashion, just like in general, but something that I feel like just takes a long time to just accept is that other people's opinions really do not matter. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Like, specifically as being a Black femme, people expect you to be one way, and okay, maybe two ways. You're either this super sexy being that is just there for people's desire, or you're this being that is completely unsexed and just there as a service. And Lolita is neither of those things, and it honestly, it boggles a lot of people that they can't put you into a box. And I think that's where a lot of the ugly remarks and just like jeering and just inappropriate behavior comes from. And over the time, like, my confidence has gotten better because I realized that people that react like this are literally, they're just uneducated. They don't understand why the comments that they're making are harmful, and not just for people who are wearing Lolita or like Black femmes as a whole, or pretty much Black people. POC, literally everyone who is like not a white cis person like has experienced this in some sort of way, like being forced into this box. Yeah, it's like people that don't understand this just need to be brought out of their comfort zone, but unfortunately they haven't been able to. And I feel like something that makes me comfortable is just being myself, and whenever I get weird comments out in the world, just respond as courteously as I can, just being like, oh, actually no, this is what my fashion is, it's not this thing you're saying. And you just have to learn how to not take it to heart. Sometimes it can get you down. Like, I will wholeheartedly say that there will be days where you'll wear the fashion and you're like, oh, I am confident 100%, I love this is like great, and you'll get like only good remarks from people. And other times you'll get 3 weird catcalls in a row, or someone will accuse you of like wearing Lolita as like a pedo kink, which is possibly the worst thing that I've ever heard, and I hate hearing it. It's not what Lolita is. And that was like mainly the first part of how I worked on my confidence in Lolita. And once I kind of got to the point where I realized that other people's opinions don't matter, then I could start working on myself and realizing that I shouldn't care about those opinions, because no matter how much I tell myself those opinions don't matter, obviously as a human, like, hearing these things over time can like grade away at you. And you just have to like build up the strength to ignore it. And I know that that is like one of the most irritating things to hear as a Black femme, because time after time Black femmes are taught to just suck it up and be strong, but I'm tired of hearing that, and it's toxic because Black femmes, Black women have feelings, and we're allowed to express ourselves in whatever way that we want, and we're not going to be these sexual beings that you can just look at and do with what you please. Like, I'm sorry. Another thing that makes wearing Lolita really cool for me is Lolita has become a political statement for me, because when I walk around, obviously I'm wearing this fashion because I love it and it feels like it's right for me, but I'm also, like I just said, I'm breaking all of these kind of, I was gonna say binaries, but just these boxes that people have around people. And like, there's just this thing that, calling myself a thing, there's just this person and you're like, I don't know what to do with you. And I feel like I'm comfortable enough like having conversations with people when they don't understand things like this, but yeah, it's kind of fun for me to just put myself out there and be like, yeah, like, yeah, I'm this like hyper feminine ball of whatnot, and you cannot talk to me in whatever way you want, because even though I'm hyper feminine, I am powerful and I will talk back to you. Like I don't get that. Like, why do y'all think, like, some people think that they can say whatever they want to Lolitas just because we look all sweet and soft? It's like, no, I am a person and I will tell you off if you say something out of pocket. Just the truth. Yeah, so just kind of overall, just my confidence that I've built up for Lolita is just learning to block out people. And it is the hardest thing to do if you're like me and you care so much about how other people see you, and like just like not wanting to disappoint people or make other people uncomfortable. Like, it's something that I like worry myself over all the time, but it doesn't matter. And you just have to get to the point where you're like, you know what, I don't care anymore. And once you get to that point, you are unstoppable. All right, so question 2 is natural hair in Lolita. Styling, so basically just like styling hair without wigs, because you know, sometimes it's like really hot outside or you just don't feel like styling your hair under a wig. I will say I am not very talented when it comes to doing my hair. I actually suck at it. So as a Black Lolita, or generally as a Black person, I am not talented with hair at all. And I also think that's valid if you just want to wear wigs all the time. It, like, I hate this ideology that Black women wearing wigs, or like Black femmes wearing wigs, is them like hating their natural hair. Like, I love my hair. It's just hard to do. Like, but when I do have my natural hair out, I honestly just love my fro with Lolita. And I like putting like little barrettes or clips into my hair that match my cord. And I also like putting flowers in my hair. And the cool thing about a fro is you can just stick it in there and it'll, you know, it'll stay, and it's like it's there for the rest of the day. And yeah, I just like, I like having my like full hair out sometimes, but then like other times I'll get tired of having my hair out, so I'll throw on a wig, and that like works for me. Another style that I like to do, which is partially my natural hair, is I do this style with 2 giant twin buns at the top, and the buns are actually like, I don't know what you call them. They're like puff wigs, like, I don't know how you would call them, but basically I section my hair, and I have like my natural hair out in like a triangle shape, and I only like blow dry that area on like a really cool temp, and then I take a really low flat iron and I curl it up, and then I take setting lotion and put rollers in, and I'll sleep on it for a night, and then I'll pull the rest of my hair up into ponytails, and then I'll like wrap my whole head up when I like pull the roller out, I'll have this really nice swoopy bang, and it's so fun, and it makes you look like a little cartoon character. And it's also just like not bad on your hair at all, because like it doesn't have to be like this sleek, perfectly straight bump. And I honestly think it looks better when it's a little frizzy and loose, because then you get like this boing boing, like fun bounce motion going on. But yeah, that's like one of my favorite hairstyles to do. I think it's something really cool about being a Black Lolita is that you have the choice. Like, you can do whatever you want, you know? One day you might want to have your natural hair out in like an afro. The next day you might want to flatten it. The next day you might want to do like Bantu knots. You may want to shave your head and be bald. Like, literally do whatever you want. There is no right way to wear Lolita and black hair. Whatever you find works, as long as it works for you, you're comfortable in it, you like the way it looks, you're being nice to your hair, it doesn't matter. Do what you like. Okay, so question 3 is, what sparked your interest in the fashion? So, I've talked about this more than I should have on my channel, but Princess Peachy was the big push for me to get into Lolita fashion. And I won't tell that same story again, but kind of connected to the first question, I'll talk about something that was a bad situation, but I pushed it into a positive for myself. And it started when I was in college. I had a job where I was like a support position, but I remember I got this review, and it was just like berating me for my like personality and talking about how I was like a person who was like unapproachable and like just really like, it was just not very nice. And then they also accused me of appropriating Asian culture. And I remember them saying Asian culture, like Asian culture is one thing, number 1, like get your facts straight. Number 2, this was at a time where I like had Lolita clothing, but I was like too afraid to wear it out of the house or like out of my dorm. And I was just like really inspired by like K-pop fashion. So I was just like wearing like mini skirts and like little crop tops and like platforms, and like that was the max. Like the only thing that like I did that was not Western centric was, instead of doing a cat eye, I did the like droopy tirame eyes. And apparently that's enough to be deemed as a cultural appropriator. Was just at a loss. Like at first I was like, oh my gosh, like I've spent all of this time being this nice person, and you know, I try my best to make everyone happy and not offend anyone, and then like I get this like really like it was a long message. I get like this long message from this anonymous person, and they're just telling me that I'm like this unapproachable person, even though I tried so hard to like be this nice person. And I was like, what's the point of it all? Like, why do I even do any of this? And like at first I was just like, man, I'm just gonna wear like t-shirts and hoodies and just quit like everything. I would never do anything like that, and I know this, and like Lolita is not cultural appropriation, and I feel like I can do an entire other video on this topic, but it was just really frustrating for me. And like I talked to them and I was like, yeah, I guess it's not cultural appropriation, but one comment from one person had just convinced me that what I was doing was wrong and that I was hurting people by wearing this alternative fashion. And I don't know, at some point it just clicked to me, and I was like, why do I care? And that's the day that I decided I didn't care. Take it from someone who had a very dumb mental spiral after an anonymous person tore down my personality. Don't waste your time. Okay, so after that really deep answer, oh, this is supposed to be a positive video, but it became positive for me. Anyway, question 4 is, what's an example of a positive interaction with other Lolitas regarding race? And I will say, like, I don't think I've ever had a negative interaction with Lolitas ever. which is kind of cool. Like, I mean, I've been online and I've been in alternative fashion for years, and I've been like in these communities, and the EGL community I've just recently gotten into. Like I've been creeping around in the background, like too afraid to talk to other people, but I've just recently started talking to people, and it's fine. No one's weird. Like, I haven't been able to go to meets and things, obviously, because of the pandemic that is occurring right now, but yeah, I've had really great interactions with people, and the positive interactions that I've had with non-Black Lolitas, specifically about my Black identity, is just like being really, really impressed by natural hair. Like, people really like when people cord their natural hair with Lolita, and I think that's a really, really good place to be in the community. I mean, we're at a time now where literally tons of Black Lolitas are getting together for a collab. We're all supporting each other. We're being supported by the Lolita community, and it's just a really good feeling to know that Black Lolitas are speaking out and we're being heard, and our content is reaching a ton of people, and that makes me excited for future Lolitas, specifically future Black Lolitas that maybe were afraid of wearing the fashion because of their race, which is something that I was afraid of for a long time, but it's not worth it. It's not worth your time. Alright, so the last question is, what were some of your fears starting in Lolita? And I think I kind of covered most of them. Just like overall, just being treated differently because of the way that I dress, which I still do, but I was afraid of being treated negatively, and now I just don't care as much. But the other side of that was I was afraid of how I would be treated by men in public, specifically just like catcalling and things like that. Weirdly enough, I was catcalled more when I, like, before I wore Lolita. Now it's more so, like, honestly, the thing that I experience the most is people talking loudly about me like I can't hear, but I can, and they know I can. Like, a few days ago I was in Sam's Club, and like I'm just like minding my business, and I was in like a relatively casual old school Lolita cord. I didn't even have like a full petty on, and this person, it was someone working there, like walked by me, and they were like, "It's a goth, oh my god, it's a goth. Wow, I can't believe there's a goth in the store." And I was just like, okay, like what are you achieving? Like, what is this? Like, are you excited? Like, what is going on? And like now I just realized that it was probably exciting to like see something weird in Sam's Club. That was probably the highlight of his day, like this weird person wearing weird clothes standing beside the strawberries, wondering if they'll rot before I can eat them. But yeah, I've kind of gotten used to that, and I think it's funny. Like, it's like, I just don't understand how you could ever react to someone like that. Like, maybe that's just me. Staring is something that still gets under my skin, and mainly, like, not just staring, but when people covertly try to record you, but they're like, they literally have like all of the secret detectiveness of a dead fish, and they're just like holding their phone up beside them. Like, I literally can see you. I know what you're doing. Like, why? Like, who raised you? Who why do you think like filming people just because they look different is okay? Like, I will never understand that, but I am patiently waiting for the time when I am oblivious to the stares. I feel like that'll come in like maybe 2 to 3 years, but we'll get there when we get there. So, kind of wrapping up the questions, I would like to say that it is completely valid to understand fears that you have related to Lolita fashion, and I think it's important to understand them, why you have them, where they come from, and I think that's the first start in like not getting over them, because I think that it's totally fine to like start in a fashion when you're still afraid. That's possibly one of the most confident and strong things you can do, because stepping out of the house when you don't know like what people are going to say, like how you're going to be treated, is brave. And I don't care if you're wearing 5 petticoats and you have 10 bows on your head and you're the most feminine thing on the earth. You are strong as crap, and don't let people tell you that, oh, just because you look like Little Miss Muffet, you're like this like soft. No, you're not. You're super strong, and I support anybody that's interested in this fashion, no matter what level you're on. If it's just, I'm gonna wear this bag today because it makes me think of, I don't know, Fairy Kay, whatever it is, like, just do it for yourself. I'm talking to you, person that's wanted to wear Lolita for like 5 years. You can do it. Thank you so much for listening into my rambling. I hope that this was reassuring for some people, specifically Black Lolitas or Lolitas in general. If you were comforted by my stories or just felt like you were heard in some way, that would make me really happy. I'd love to hear about some of your experiences wearing Lolita in the comments, good or bad, neutral even. Yeah, I'd love to hear what you have to say. With that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!